Hello, Princess on a Pillow here. I am here to do a review slash recap with my opinion on 90 Day Fiance, Season 9, Episode 1, Ketchup to Mustard. This is the premiere. We're just going to meet the couples. That's it. Let's get started. These are some weird names. I'm sorry if I butcher them, but I'm going to try to pronounce them correctly. All right. The first one is Belai. I think he's either 40 or 42 years old. He's from Kansas City, Missouri. He describes himself as hood bougie. He liked nice things, but he grew up in the hood. He said he was born and raised Muslim. He is a real estate investor and agent. We see him showing his ex-wife. Her name is Shahida. He's showing her a house for sale. They were married for 10 years and they have 2 children. They've been divorced now for 7 years. Bilal is dating Shida, who is 37 years old. She is a yoga instructor and she is from Trinidad and Tobago. Shida slid into his DM and said she was interested in him. So he visited Shida in Trinidad for 7 days. He proposed to her and she said yes. They applied for the K1 visa, but COVID hit and he has not seen Shida for 2 years. Bilal tells Shahida, that's his ex-wife, that Shida, that's his fiance, is coming to town that weekend. In Bilal religion, he is not allowed to have sexual relations before marriage. So him and Shida had a spiritual union so that Shida can live at his home and they can be together. Bilal tells Shahida, that's his ex-wife, that he and Shida, his fiance, met on social media. Shahida asked him if he is sure Shida loves him and not his money. Bilal said he has never showed Shida what he has. Shahida asked him if Shida is going to sign a prenup, and he said yes. The next scene. Bilal takes his kids fishing on a boat, and he tells the kids that Shida will be there that Sunday. The kids are happy and they can't wait to meet Shida. The next day, Bilal video chats with Shida, who is packing to come to the States. She'll be there in 2 days. And she can't wait to see his house because whenever she video chats with him, all she sees is a white wall. She knows that he is hiding his house from her. Shida tells Bilal that she is scared of stepping into the role of mother or stepmother. He tells her to just be herself. Shida also wants to have kids of her own, but Bilal is not totally on board with having more kids. The next scene. Shida is arriving this day. Bilal is straightening up the house, and then his sister comes over with balloons for Shida. Him and his sister, they talk about Bilal living with Shida and getting used to each other. Bilal decorates the bed with petals spelled out in Shaida's name. Bilal said that they will use the 90 days to get to know each other better. Bilal told his sister that Shaida has been engaged twice and Shaida is the one who broke things off. So Bilal and his sister talk about Bilal getting his heart broken and they both get emotional. Anyway, they have gifts for Shaida and they set it up on the bed, pretty way. Bilal said Shaida will not see the house and her gifts until the day after she arrives. Bilal is going to pick up Shaida in a work van and bring her to the childhood home that he grew up in. So Bilal wants to make sure that Shaida wants him for himself and not for what he has. So Bilal and his sister then drive the van to a small house, which is the house he grew up in, and the house has a bad roof and peeling paint. So the producer asks him if he thinks the prank will backfire. Bilal says he is hoping that Shaida will find it funny. Bilal goes into the house and puts a picture of both him and Shaida on the side table. I don't think though about that testing your relationship. I don't know about testing your relationship. You shouldn't have to do that to know if someone really loves you. But what do I know? Well, that's the end for now of Bilal and Shaida. Next is Cara and Galermo. Carla is 29 years old from Charlottesville, Virginia. She said she lives, breathes, and dreams about balloons. She makes big balloon garlands. She said she came up with this during COVID. She said she's done every type of job. She's been a barista. She's been a chef. She's been a dancer. She's been a singer. She has recorded audiobooks. And she's done massage therapist. She has traveled all over the world. She has lived in 4 countries. She speaks 3 languages. And 2 years ago, she worked in the DR, the Dominican Republic. And she met a waiter named Galermo, who is 23 years old. And he's originally from Venezuela. Can't speak. He's from Venezuela. But he's been living in the DR. He's been living in the DR for 4 years. Venezuela. I can't say it. Cara lived with Galermo in the DR for about 6 months. Then he proposed. And they started the K-1 visa process. Then Cara's job in the DR fell through. And due to COVID, the K-1 visa process was delayed a year, and Galermo's visa was finally approved. Galermo has an expired Venezuela passport, but he is able to use the passport only for visa purposes. Cara plans on going to the DR and escorting Galermo to the U.S. Yeah, she wants to escort him to the U.S. because she's afraid that they won't accept his passport. I don't know why she thinks her being with him will allow them to accept his passport, but she's going to go get him and escort him to the States. The next scene, Cara is at the airport and she's flying to the DR to get Galermo and bring him back to the States. So we see Galermo in the DR making a cheese English muffin sandwich. Guillermo said he left Venezuela because the economy went down and he couldn't afford food and to go to university. He said one day he saw kids fighting for food in the garbage. So the next day he went to protest the government. He said things got too violent for him, so he fled to Punta Cana, where his brothers were living. That's the DR. He said he started working in a restaurant and learning English, and then one day he met Cara. He said one day they were hanging out and she asked him for a kiss, and that was it. That was all she wrote. So now we see Guillermo. He's at a flower shop and he's buying flowers for Cara. Guillermo said that Cara is perfect for him. He said she is the one. Next, Guillermo is at the airport waiting for Cara to arrive. Guillermo said he hasn't seen Cara in almost a year and he is nervous. When they see each other, they hug and kiss and they're just happy. Guillermo is worried that his expired passport will be a problem for him going to the States. That's the end of Guillermo and Cara. Next is, oh my gosh, these names. Jabri and Miona'S. Jabri is 28 years old from Rapid City, South Dakota. He is a musician. He went to Serbia and met Miona'S, who is a 23-year-old makeup artist. They got engaged in Thailand. Jabri now lives with his mother and stepfather back in South Dakota. Miona'S K-1 visa was approved and she is coming to South Dakota soon. Jabri's mother is worried that he won't have enough money to support Miona'S when she comes to the States. The next scene. Jabri has chores to do. Since he lives at home now, he has chores to do. And he needs to mow the lawn, but he does not know how to work the lawnmower. Anyway. Jabri video chats with Miona'S, who is shopping. Miona'S does not want to live in South Dakota. She wants to live in LA, but Jabri does not have the money to move to LA. Miona'S wants a beach wedding, but Jabri wants to get married in South Dakota because it would be cheaper. The next scene, Jabri is setting up a clothing rack for Miona'S to use to put her clothes on. Apparently, Jabri's mother does not like the way Miona'S dresses. She's seen Miona'S pictures on Instagram, and they're very racy. Her outfit is skimpy, and the pictures are very racy. Jabri's mother is also concerned about how Miona'S talks to Jabri. She said she heard Miona'S call Jabri stupid and also yelled at him. Jabri told his mother that he hoped that Miona'S won't get into arguments with her and won't call her stupid. Basically, his mother told him that Miona'S has to respect her and she does want to like Miona'S. That's the end of Jabri and Miona'S. Next, it's Emily and Colby. Emily is 29 years old from Kansas. Emily went to China to teach English for 2 months, and she met Colby, who is he's 34 years old from Africa, I think. And Colby is an international underwear model. I don't know where he's from, but he's from the continent of Africa. I think she said it, but I couldn't hear her. He proposed to her, and she said yes. Then Emily got pregnant and came back to Kansas and moved in with her parents. Emily applied for a visiting visa for Colby. Yeah, she applied for a visiting visa for Colby. In her confessional, Emily said that when she was in her 20s, she went for bad boys, and two of her exes are incarcerated. So she likes bad boys. Emily said the week before her due date, they found out that Colby was denied his visiting visa. So the baby was born, and it was a boy, and they named him Colbin. And then they decided to file for the K-1 visa, but due to COVID, the K-1 visa was delayed for 2 years. So Emily video chats with Colby, and he is excited to come to the States because it was delayed for 2 years. His visa was delayed for 2 years, but I guess it was approved now. So Emily is worried if Colby will still be attracted to her because she has gained weight since the last time he saw her. The next scene, Emily and her family, they're preparing dinner. After a while, they sit down to dinner. Emily tells us that Colby arrives in a few days. In a few days, Colby will be here. And she says that she is nervous because he'll be moving in with her and her entire family. So they sit down to dinner, and the parents are worried to meet Colby because of Emily's horrible track record with guys. Emily's mother tells her that she does not have to get married just because she has a baby. Emily said that Colby is not an underwear model anymore due to COVID. So she's practically telling us that he doesn't have a job anymore. She said her parents has been helping her financially. Emily's father has to support Emily, Colby, and Colbin for 6 months until Emily and or Colby can get a job. Emily's father told her she better not get pregnant. Emily says she has birth control pills, but she hasn't been taking them. Emily's father said that Colby has to prove that he can support Emily and Colbin and himself without his help. And that's it. Those are the couples. I think there's another couple to meet. Hopefully we'll meet that couple next week. That's the end of my review. I'll be back next week with another review. Thank you so much for watching. Princess on a Pillow here. Bye.